Yeah, so for those of you who haven't heard of me, my name's Dom Wells. I'm the owner and founder of Human Proof Designs. And short and simple, we build done for you affiliate sites for the Amazon Associates platform and for various other things like ClickBank. We focus on Amazon because it's where we've had a lot of our success. And there are actually quite a few overlaps between being an Amazon affiliate and being an Amazon seller. So that's why I kind of connected with Greg and why we're here today.
All right, fantastic. With that being said, you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so just quick intro into what we're going to cover today. So going to cover what does and doesn't work. So probably very similar to being an Amazon seller. Being an Amazon affiliate has changed a lot over the years. Some things that used to work don't work anymore. And so I've sold over 500 sites over the last few years, so I know what definitely does work and what definitely doesn't. Then we're going to cover how to get niche ideas. So this is pretty broad. We're not going to jump straight into keyword research or anything like that. Just how to come up with ideas, places that you can look. Then we're going to do some digging deeper. We're going to look into keyword research and validating your niche, seeing if it's a good idea, bad idea. And then we're going to cover the various different content types that get traffic and convert buyers. So once you've got your keyword research, you've got your niche chosen, what kind of articles do you want to put on your website? What kind of articles are going to be making you the most money and all of that kind of stuff. And then we're going to go for a brief overview of ranking an Amazon site in Google, because that could be about 3 webinars all in itself. So just going to kind of cover the basics for that. And then there's also, as a bonus, there's a kind of a technique that I teach to a lot of my new customers for how they can start earning almost immediately. Obviously, if you're going to rely on getting traffic from Google, that can take months. So a lot of people want to be able to start seeing sales come in a lot earlier than that. And then just going to have some questions at the end. So I wrote FAQ, but really it means Q&A. So it's just for you guys to fire questions and see if there's anything that we didn't yet cover. Okay, so Amazon sites still work. That's good. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. This would be a pretty short webinar. So what doesn't really work anymore is the kind of small micro site. So by that, I mean like a kind of 1-page website, 5-page website, something like that. Those things worked very easily prior to about 2012, and they kind of still worked a little bit, and they've slowly phased out. So what you need now is a bigger site with more content, more words on each article, and just generally something which isn't a thin site. Then there's also this kind of e-commerce style site, which is like rather than a review site where you kind of review the best products in a given niche. An e-commerce site is one where it basically pretends that it's an e-commerce store, like a Shopify store or something like that. But instead of you actually selling the products yourselves, when someone goes to check out, you just redirect them to Amazon where they do the purchase. And I've seen some people having success with this, but I've never really recommended it myself. I've never really seen much success with it, and I think it's not the best model, so I'm not really interested in teaching that particular model. So what's interesting to note is that even though you need bigger sites now, and you can't just have like three articles on a site, you can still choose a narrow niche. So maybe you just want to build a site around 1 or 2 products, or a very specific thing like this. You just need a bigger site. So, 30, 40 pages, all about a narrow topic is fine. But obviously the best case scenario is you choose a site that has 2 or 3 sub-niches or categories. And on the next slide, I'm going to give a few examples of that. Okay, so some niche examples. So let's say you have a shaving site that covers straight razors, safety razors, strops, brushes, bowls, so all of the accessories that go along with shaving. this is like what I would call a best case scenario niche, because you're not just trying to target people interested in straight razors or just safety razors or just brushes. I feel if you do that, you can make it work, but it's better to cover 2 or 3 or 4 sub niches, because, well, first of all, you're probably going to make more money, but second of all, you've got a much higher chance of actually getting success with one of those sub niches. Like, for example, maybe you try and rank for safety razors and the competition is a lot harder than you realized and your site never gets anywhere, but you do manage to rank for brushes or straight razors. So that's what I mean by it's better to kind of cover multiple bases. Another example, a guitar site that covers amps, leads, strings, effects pedals. So pretty much the same thing, just different niche. And then if you did want to do one that just covers one topic, that's okay. So an example of that could be climbing harnesses. So maybe you think climbing harnesses has good opportunity. There's not too much competition, but all of the other things like climbing rope, climbing carabiners, climbing shoes, maybe you think they're too competitive, so you just want to stick with harnesses. That's fine, but you should still build a site the same size as the others, because you're just not going to rank with a 10-page site. So that's fine, because you need a mix of money keywords and info keywords. So a money keyword is something like best climbing harness, or best safety razor, or safety razor versus straight razor, something like that. Something where somebody's doing a search in Google because they want to buy something. Whereas an info keyword is like how to build your own guitar, or how to sharpen your straight razor. Are climbing harnesses necessary? Something like that. And the reason you need a mix is, well, first of all, you're going to need a mix if you want to get to 30 to 40 posts. It's really hard for you to build 50 posts just around money keywords. And second of all, Google's going to look at your site as a whole, and it's going to think, okay, this site is a really good source of information, really good resource, and yeah, it's just like the ideal situation. Okay, so an important point. A lot of people, when brainstorming ideas or choosing what niche they want to go with, they kind of think they need to find this untapped niche that nobody else has ever found before, or they think they need to be the first person to enter a niche, or, you know, just like the early mover, this zero competition niche. And the truth is, you don't need to find a new untapped niche with zero competition. You need to find a low competition niche that has proven demand, proven itself over time. When you go for this zero competition niche, it either means you're taking a huge risk because it's like a brand new niche and you don't know for sure whether anybody's actually going to be interested in it, or whether it's going to be around for longer than 3 months. But also, it could be just because nobody's interested in it already. So no competition generally means no money. So that's why we go for low competition rather than zero. So the sweet spot is low competition and decent level of interest. Because obviously you don't want to go really low competition and where there's really low interest. So you want to find the sweet spot where, yes, you can rank in there, you can get your site to the top of Google, and people are actually searching for those keywords.
Dom, I'm just going to interrupt you real quick. I'm going to say I'm really glad that that it is an important point and that you believe that as well, because we always preach that when people are looking for products, physical products to sell on Amazon, that the same thing. Like, it's risky to try to go for a brand new niche. You know, like oftentimes I'll hear people say, like, you know, I have a really good feeling this product's going to sell well. Like, I've always been looking for it, so I know other people are. And it's like, you could be true, but there's probably a very small chance that that actually is true. More likely, there's just no one else that wants this, or like a very, very small amount of other people that want that. So I'm glad that you bring up that point. I'm a huge believer in that.
Yeah, definitely. I think like this is another example of whether you're selling on Amazon or whether you're an affiliate, like the philosophy should be the same. And like if you jump into a new niche, like something really popular a few years ago was drones, and last year there were those hoverboards, which were pretty popular. You never know whether 6 months later nobody's interested anymore. Like Pokemon Go, for example. If you've started a Pokemon Go site, maybe you got great traffic for a week, but I don't see anybody talking about it now. So there's also that risk that you go to all that effort for something which is very short-lived.
Yeah, it's a really good point as well.
Yeah. Okay, so continuing. So idea generation. So at this stage, we're not worrying about keywords at all. We're not worried about the search volume. Are people interested? We're just trying to find as many ideas as possible so that we can then take those ideas forward later and stick them in keyword search tools and stuff like that. Okay, so how do you come up with ideas? First of all, there's the easy and the obvious options. Your own imagination. So, just look around the house. What can you see? Like right now, I can see a microphone stand. So maybe that's an idea I can look into. Like I can see a beer coaster. Maybe that's something I can look into. So, just things that you can come up with a pen and paper. You can also go to amazon.com/bestsellers, and I'll show you an example of that in a second. And this is basically, you're probably all familiar with it if you're familiar with FBA, but it's basically a list of Amazon bestsellers, and you can dive deeper by category, and you can find niches and sub-niches and get some really good ideas. But of course, this is where everybody's looking, so you might not necessarily find something low competition there. You can also click on this link, which is basically Amazon's entire site directory. So it's not just the bestsellers, it's like everything on their site. And then eBay and Alibaba, you can visit those sites and you can just look at what's hot, what's trending, and things like that, and just get general ideas. Usually I don't go to these because I normally find something good from these three ideas, but that's another option for you. Okay, before we go to the less obvious ones, I just want to click on this link and show you guys what happens there. So hopefully I don't lose you. So can we see Amazon? Okay.
Yep, we can see it. Looks good.
Okay, cool. So Amazon.com/bestsellers, and on the left we've got the departments, and you can really dig deeper. Like you can click on home and kitchen, for example, and then you've got all the home and kitchen like sub departments. You can click on kitchen and dining, for example, and go down. You can kind of see I was practicing this earlier because this is darker. So click on bakeware. So now we're in bakeware. We could go deeper, or we could start looking around here and thinking, okay, what is a common best-selling item? So for me, what stands out is there's a lot of baking trays, and there's a couple of toaster ovens. You can come down here and you can scroll through. I'm seeing more baking trays, some other things, and then if I went all the way through here, I would get more and more baking trays. So I might think, okay, maybe toaster ovens is an idea for me to look into. Maybe baking trays is an idea, and that's just me kind of, I just clicked like 3 links and I've come three tiers deep. So imagine if you did that for the entire home and kitchen or the entire Amazon, you could spend hours just doing that and generate a lot of ideas really quickly. One thing I would say is try and avoid electronics, because Amazon only pays 4% commission on electronics. So it doesn't matter whether you sell 100 items or 5 items or 500, they're only going to pay you 4%. So it's better to go for other items where you're more likely to generate like an 8% commission. Although if you sold TVs that cost $1,000 or something, it could balance out. But generally, I tell people to avoid electronics. So if we come back here and then click the second link, it's basically the same thing. It's just not bestsellers, and it's organized a bit more, or it looks more pretty. But it's the same kind of thing. You can click, you can just dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's really easy to generate a lot of ideas very quickly. Okay, so the less obvious ideas. you can use a tool called SEMrush, and then you can start reverse engineering other websites. And again, in a sec, I'll jump across and show you what I mean. Okay, yeah, so what I'm going to do when I'm reverse engineering these guys is I'm going to be looking for ideas and keywords that have best in. And when you're building an Amazon affiliate site, you don't have to rely on a best keyword. So, for example, best straight razors. You don't have to rely on that. You can make money from other keywords, but it's kind of the best starting point for your research, because if you find keywords like this that you think you could rank for, then that's a good sign that the rest of the niche is open. Whereas if best is heavily saturated and it's filled with other sites that you don't think you can compete with, then maybe that's a sign that you want to choose a different niche. So I would say that a best keyword isn't going to make or break your success in a niche, but it just makes sense to start your search here. Okay, so I'm just going to jump across to SEMrush. So this is a premium tool, and I don't necessarily recommend that you go ahead and pay for a subscription for it, but you can normally find a free trial, and I think if you sign up, you can get a limited amount of searches for free, so it might be worth investigating that. But here's how it can get really cool. So there's a website called bestproducts.com, and bestproducts.com completely dominates a lot of niches. If I actually just visit it really quickly for you. Okay, so like it's just a huge website. Rather than focusing on lots of different niches, they just focus on everything. And they use a lot of backlinking techniques to kind of beat their competitors, and their budget is huge. So I don't recommend trying to compete with them. But you can get ideas. So for example, best trail running shoes, whey powders for men, yoga pants. So just by visiting their homepage, you can get ideas, kind of the same as like you might do on eBay or something. But what I like to do is, we're back here in SEMrush, and then I come here. This is a list of their organic keywords. So they rank for nearly 1 million keywords. So that's how big they are. And if we view the full report, we can do a filter. So I'm going to make a filter. So I'm going to include keywords containing best. And then I'm going to only want to find the keywords where the position is in the top 5. So that means they rank position 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in Google. So this is going to filter it down. So instead of 1 million keywords, we've got still got 500,000 keywords. So this is a huge site. But really quickly, you can just get ideas here. Look, so you've got best coffee maker, best Halloween costumes, best vacuum cleaner, best acne treatment. You know, are you going to be able to rank for all of these keywords? You know, probably not, but you've now got about 350,000 ideas that you can look through. So there's other sites as well. There's bestproducts.com, there's Wirecutter, and there are a few more, but I think if you don't find a niche by the time you've gone through these guys and all of these ideas, then you don't need to look for another idea.
Yeah, Dom, I really like that idea of best. And then one thing that I saw on like Viper Chill, which I guess is kind of like a niche focused thing, is to add the year as an easy way to rank. I mean, I guess this is going in later, but people who are really targeting specific niches for the best traffic might add like best toasters 2017 or something, because a lot of people do search to ensure that they get the most recent results.
Yeah, I read that article. That was quite a recent article. And I agree with some of it, but not all of it, because if you, for example, start building a site with 2017 keywords because you want to get ahead of the other sites that haven't yet updated, sooner or later they are going to update and they are going to take your rankings if they're like big authority sites. So it's a great way to get traffic and rankings, but it's like if that's your only entry point into a niche, I think it's not going to be particularly long-lived. So that's one kind of problem I had with that article. But it is definitely a good idea if you've already got a site, and it's a great way of expanding the keywords that you're already targeting.
Yeah. So also, so those are two great resources, kind of like very broad. But suppose you do have a niche. I'd be curious to know like how you might see other websites that are using Amazon affiliates to generate revenue for a particular niche once you've kind of gotten there.
So you mean like you've already chosen your niche, and then how do you find more keyword ideas and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think I am going to cover that in a sec.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
So, yeah, but long story short, what you can do is you can just Google some of the terms for your niche, and you can look through the Google results, and you are going to find sites that are obvious Amazon affiliate sites like yours. And you can do the same thing. You can put them into SEMrush and reverse engineer their keywords. I've done that quite a few times and actually you get to a point where your site becomes quite established, and you've started getting a bit of traffic and ranking for a few keywords. You can put your own site in SEMrush, and it will tell you who your competitors are, because it will compare what keywords you rank for with what keywords some of your competitors rank for. And then you can go and look at their sites and see what other keywords they rank for that you're not yet ranking for, or you haven't even thought about targeting. So that's a really good way of scaling a site once you've got the ball rolling and you've started to get established.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Dom, while we've broken your train of thought, I just want to talk to you about something real quick. Mm-hmm. I think most of the people on our webinars are used to us talking about like Amazon FBA and like selling the physical products. So maybe like between me and you, just like we could give them a 1-minute rundown of kind of like the difference of what we're specifically talking about in this webinar compared to like most of our webinars with the physical products. And I can start, then you can fill in the gaps for me. So Dom specifically is talking about here building your own websites, like he was talking about in the beginning of the presentation, that somehow markets or advertises Amazon products. And then with those, when someone clicks through those links, their affiliate links, if they go through and purchase that product on Amazon, or actually any other product on Amazon within, I think it's 24 hours, and Dom can correct me there, then you get an affiliate commission. So they pay out, what are the different ranges, Dom, between like 4 and 10% or so?
Yeah, most people will get between 4% and about 8%.
Okay, between about 4 and 8%. So then Amazon gives you that, and that's a totally separate program than like the Amazon FBA program. Compared to like what we normally talk about with Jungle Scout is, like purchasing physical products, oftentimes from China, private labeling them, mailing those products into Amazon, and you're the seller of those products through the Amazon channel. So I'll just name a couple of pros and cons of each that I can think of. And like I said, Dom, you can fill it in. But like with the physical products, it does cost more money to get started because you're going to have to buy that inventory and ship it into Amazon yourself. That I would say is like the biggest difference or the biggest like downside of the physical products. The upside of the physical products is probably, in my opinion, potential to make more money. A difficulty level, I would say, is about the same. If you already have, say, like WordPress experience doing keyword research, making your own sites, then maybe you'd find that a little bit easier. Otherwise, maybe if you have experience dealing with China or finding products on Alibaba, maybe you'd find the physical products thing a little bit easier. I'd say difficulty level is about the same. What else can we add to that, Dom, to like outline the business model and compare the pros and cons of each from like a 10,000 foot view?
Yeah, I think Amazon sites, like affiliate sites, is a slower burner. So you can earn very nicely from affiliate sites. I have several sites earning thousands of dollars a month, and but it takes 6 months or 12 months to actually get to that point. Yesterday on my podcast, I interviewed somebody who just recently in December, his affiliate site made him $15,000. So you do have that high-end potential, but it takes a lot longer to get there. But then again, the upside of that is once it gets there, it's more or less passive. Whereas if I understand FBA correctly, you always have to maintain and you always have to be buying new inventory. So yeah, it's definitely a longer-term hustle for you to actually reach the money, but once you get there, I think it's pretty nice.
Yeah, great job outlining that. So just a quick recap. The physical products business that we're normally talking about with Amazon, we're talking about, normally we're talking about ordering products from China, putting our private label on it, creating a listing on Amazon. Then we'd be the sellers, but it's sold through Amazon, shipped through Amazon. They do most of the customer service and we do a little bit of it, okay? So that's like the private label type FBA model that Jungle Scout's normally talking about. So again, just big picture recap of this webinar. We're talking about building our own websites where we're advertising Amazon products. When a user comes to our website, clicks through the Amazon affiliate links, then Amazon's going to pay us a small commission for whatever they purchase from the site. It doesn't even have to be the product that they click through. So yeah, that's just a quick 10,000 foot overview. And then I'll let you get back to the normal scheduled programming, Dom.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's really good to know that. Really good to actually clarify what we're talking about. I expect there are some people thinking, what is this?
Sure. We did have one question as well. Okay. I think it's helpful to know, like, are there prerequisites for Amazon to approve you as an affiliate?
Yes and no. So what Amazon does is they kind of pre-approve you when you sign up, and you don't have to be from, like, if you want to be an Amazon.com affiliate, you don't have to be from the US. If you want to, you can be from countries where Amazon doesn't exist, that's fine. I think 90% of countries can join. And what they do is they pre-approve you, and then when you make your first sale, which is, could be a month later, could be 2 months later, they then come and review your site. And what they're looking for is to make sure that you're not in breach of any of their terms and conditions, which basically includes things like you're not allowed to list pricing on your website because Amazon's pricing changes all the time. You're not allowed to breach trademarks and stuff. But it's generally quite easy to stay within their guidelines. And they want to make sure that your site is actually offering information. It's not just a site that is basically spam and adverts and Amazon links. So as long as you built a decent affiliate site, and by decent, I'm not saying the best site on the planet, I'm just saying not a spam site, then generally you'll be fine and they'll approve you. And once you're approved, you can promote, you can have a second site, a third site, a fourth site, and it's all within the same approved account. So you don't need to get approved every time. Does that answer that?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks.
Okay. So at the end as well, or maybe in a second, I'll show some more examples of affiliate sites because that will probably really help people. So I've written down a little note to circle back to that. Okay, so if you want to be extra sneaky and you want to find niche ideas, you can actually look for, you can use Reddit and search filters, which is the same as we did with Best Products, but instead of typing bestproducts.com in SEMrush, you just type reddit.com and put search filters in like best and stuff like that. And you can also look for footprints. So for those who don't know, a footprint is basically, it's a way that someone can use Google to find your site if they don't know that your site exists. So for example, if I had 100 websites and I used exactly the same affiliate tracking ID on every website, and someone knew one of my websites and they found my Amazon tracking ID, they could put that Amazon tracking ID into Google and they might be able to find some of my other sites. There's a much easier footprint, which is the next slide. So the Amazon affiliate disclaimer. Basically, every single Amazon affiliate website, if it doesn't want to get banned by Amazon, it has to have a disclaimer on the page saying, and here's your website name, like, domswebsite.com is a participant. So I'm not going to read it. Basically, you can see it there. And what most people do, like what I do and the sites we build, we put that in the footer of the website and it's fine. Amazon are okay with it in the footer. But putting it in the footer means it's a lot harder to find it by searching in Google. Whereas some people, they put it on a separate page on their website. So it will be like, website.com/affiliate disclaimer. And then people like me can copy, whoops, that's not supposed to happen. You can copy the text, come into Google, and I've got it over here, and you can just paste it. And this one here is an Amazon affiliate website about gardening.
Hey, Dom, it's still a black screen for us. Maybe you need to like stop sharing your screen and then redo it.
Okay, give me a sec.
Yeah, no worries. It is a live webinar, guys, and of course, during a live webinar, you always run into little things like this. Why Dom is doing that? Real quick, I wanted to. All right, now with your face back, Dom.
Yeah, that's the best part. I don't know how to get it to
give us the good stuff.
But when I was at bestproducts.com and semrush.com earlier, you could see it.
Yeah, we can see you there.
Okay. Well, anyway, long story short,
I think it has to kind of restart. So I appreciate you guys bearing with us. Like if you caught us right at the beginning, this is a new. It looks good, Dom.
Can you see Google?
Yeah, we can see it. This is a new. It's called Webinar Jam. We've been using this for a few years, but starting, I guess, today or yesterday, I don't know when, they kind of relaunched their platform. So we're still learning it. So I appreciate you guys sticking with us. And we look good, Dom. Go ahead and take it away.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I copied and pasted the disclaimer into Google, and the first three results are actually examples of people talking about the disclaimer. But once you get down here, this is an Amazon affiliate website, and I apologize to this person, but they should have put their disclaimer on the footer. But yeah, this is an Amazon affiliate website about gardening. This is an Amazon website about bicycles and stuff like that. And if you go through, there's another one here, Nerd Techie, Labrador Training HQ. So this is another good way of finding Amazon websites, just by people that basically weren't savvy enough to hide their disclosure page. Okay, I'm going to come back to the keynote presentation, and are you still at Google?
No, it looks good. We can see your keynote. You're good.
All right, cool. So let's go back to full screen. All right, so all of what we've been doing up until this point is just generating ideas. Now I want to talk about how you actually validate which ideas are good and which niche you should choose. So what factors do I generally consider? Keyword research is a huge factor. It's not the only factor, and I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they only rely on keyword research. There's also the niche demand, which is kind of how Jungle Scout ties into all of this. And also you want to look at the competition. So you want to look at the strength of your competition. Are you competing with hundreds of really strong sites, like tech websites, or are you competing with a few other weaker affiliate sites? And to a lesser extent, I will also look at product pricing, because if you're doing a niche site where the average product is $10 and you're only going to get 4%, then you're not going to earn as much as a site that is promoting products that are like $1,000. But it's only a lesser consideration for me because generally the cheaper products sell in a higher volume. So you can offset the lower commissions by the fact that you're getting a lot more of them. So for me, the sweet spot is about $50 to $100 because generally at this price, people still buy them in large amounts. But you're also going to get decent commissions. Okay, so keyword research. I really wanted to show you a paid tool and a free tool, but as of right now, there aren't really any good free options because what a lot of people used to use was the Google AdWords keyword tool, but there's issues with it now because it doesn't show you the exact keyword search volume anymore. It only shows you a range. So for me, it's not really good. But some of the paid tools like Keyword Finder, Longtail Pro, and SE Cockpit, some of them have like a $1 trial or a free trial or something like that. So generally you can you could sign up for a month, do all the keyword research you need to do, and then either cancel your trial or stop paying the minimal fee that you paid. So I've got tips for using a keyword tool. Start broad and go narrow. So if one of your ideas is, let's stick with the shaving niche. If one of your ideas was straight razors, maybe you would just search for razors, or maybe you would just search for straight razors, and you see what kind of results the keyword tool gives you. And I will go into this more in a little bit. And then you can go narrow as you dig deeper, because you're going to find a lot more ideas that way, and you're going to be able to see the kind of bigger picture of the niche as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we want to explore the kind of best keywords or the review keywords. So like best straight razor or straight razor review or Gillette Mach 3 review, something like that. And I like to look for 500 monthly searches minimum, but that's not for all my keywords. So I'll target a keyword if it only has 100 monthly searches. And what monthly searches basically means how many people every month are typing that search phrase into Google. But when I'm looking for my kind of best keywords, I try and look for 500. So let's say best soft tip darts only has about 300 searches, but best straight razor has 1,500 searches. Then for me, I'll explore best straight razor before I explore darts. But then again, you kind of need to look at the whole niche anyway, because maybe darts has a load of other great keywords that you think you can rank for, whereas shaving is really saturated. So you do need to look at the bigger picture, but when looking to see if there are keywords with potential, I like to look for at least 500 monthly searches. I don't know whether I just talked in a big circle there, but hopefully you're still with me.
Still following you. Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I like to look for a potential main keyword that has several related keywords that are also viable. So by that, I mean, I'm just going to stick with the razor example. So let's say you find best straight razor, it's got 1,000 searches or 2,000 searches, and you think it looks good. And then there's also best safety razor, there's also best razor strop, cutthroat razor, all these other great keywords, and you think all of these keywords look pretty good, they've got decent search volume. Then you start to think, okay, this could be a niche I want to enter. I see too many people who just find one really good keyword and then they build a site, and it's just not a good idea, because you never really can predict accurately if you're going to rank for one keyword. Whereas if you're covering 20 or 30 different keywords in the niche, then you've just got much bigger chances of succeeding. Okay. Right, this is just recapping what I basically just said. So keyword research is there to tell you what search phrases to target and how competitive a niche is, but you're not going to go all in on a niche just because you find one keyword. I've done it before, and it's just not a good idea. So I learned the hard way, and I'm telling you not to learn the hard way. Okay, keyword competition. So this refers to, let's say you did want to try and build a shaving site and you wanted to rank #1 in Google for best straight razor. How do you go about determining which keywords you might be able to rank for and which keywords are just ridiculously competitive? So a lot of keyword tools have a keyword difficulty score. So for example, SEMrush, they might say this has a keyword difficulty score of 70 out of 100, which sounds really difficult. Longtail Pro has a difficulty score. Ahrefs has a difficulty score. They all do, because it's what kind of beginners who aren't really sure what they're doing, they want to rely on it. And keyword scores, keyword difficulty scores they're a good rough guide, but I always rely on manual analysis. One example recently was I found a keyword where, according to my keyword tool, it was difficult, but I actually looked at the search results manually. So I just searched for the keyword in Google, looked at what sites were currently on page 1, and I saw 3 forums and a couple of weak sites. And generally in affiliate marketing, if you see a forum or 2 forums or 3 forums ranking on page 1, that's a sign that this is a really weak keyword, because Google really prefers to rank information websites higher than forums. So whenever I target a keyword that has forums in, I can rank for it very quickly. But according to the keyword difficulty score of this search tool, I wasn't going to rank for it. So the lesson learned here is they can be a guidance, and they're quite accurate at their extremes. Like if they say this keyword is impossible, then it probably is impossible. And if they say it's ridiculously easy, then it probably is. But anywhere in between, and I just find like 50% of the time, it's not even close to being accurate. So yeah, whichever tool you use, don't worry too much about that. So very easy way for you to tell without being like an expert at SEO analysis, very easy way to tell is if there are 2 or 3 other sites on page 1 that are also affiliate sites, then you've probably got a good chance of ranking, because it shows that Google is willing to rank affiliate sites for that keyword. If you see like all 10 results on page 1, all 10 of them are affiliate sites, then that means you're going to be competing with a lot of other affiliates who probably know what they're doing. But if there are too few, like you only see 1 affiliate site or 0 affiliate sites, then that's probably a sign that Google doesn't want to show affiliate sites. I'll show some examples later, but basically the reason we like to target search terms like best such and such is because Google typically likes to rank affiliate sites for this type of term. Whereas if you were to search for something like Gillette Mac 3, so no other words, just Gillette Mac 3, Google's going to show, well, first of all, it's going to show Gillette.com. It's probably going to show Amazon.com's Gillette listing, and it's going to show a bunch of other actual physical websites that physically sell those products. So it's really hard to rank an affiliate site for e-commerce search terms. So basically what we're doing here is saying, does Google want to rank my type of website? And is there room for me? Yes or no. So for me, I much prefer to look at manual analysis than to rely on a keyword metric, because these are all based on averages and estimations, whereas this is based on actual evidence. Okay, so yeah, as I just mentioned, avoid keywords that have got too many e-commerce sites. And it's really easy to spot an e-commerce site. They'll have a shopping cart. You'll visit the website and there'll be a bunch of products saying buy now. And when you click buy now, you go to a shopping cart and you enter your credit card details and you're buying from that site. Whereas an affiliate site will just be some information about the products, and when you click on the links, you go over to Amazon to do your actual buying. And again, if you're kind of confused by all this, I am going to show a few examples in a minute when we go over the shoulder. So don't worry too much about that at this stage. I just want to get through the theory first. Okay, so great, as I mentioned earlier, is keywords where there's a few forums or exact match domains on page 1. I'm going to assume you don't know what an exact match domain is. So let's say you wanted to rank for best straight razor and you had a website which was beststraightrazor.com. That's an exact match domain. Or you want to rank for Jungle Scout Review and you buy junglescoutreview.com. That's an exact match domain. And a long time ago, you could rank in 24 hours just by sticking up a basic WordPress installation on an exact match domain. And then Google went, yeah, this is a really bad idea. So they made it a lot more difficult for EMDs to rank. So bearing that in mind, if you see an EMD and a forum or multiple instances on page 1, that means that it's a weak keyword, because these kind of weak sites are on page 1. So if you come in with your well-built affiliate site, you'll be able to outrank them with like I wouldn't say it's going to be super easy, but it's probably one of the easiest keywords that you'll find. Okay, moving quickly. So the other thing I look at is niche demand, which is basically how much demand is there for these products. So you might find keywords that get a lot of good search volume, but nobody's actually interested in buying them online, which is really weird, but it does happen. When I first contacted Greg, I mentioned that I used to try and rank, I used to rank #1 for best Rolex. So I thought I had it made. I thought I was going to, be rolling in it. And then it turns out no one actually buys Rolexes on Amazon. Like across the whole Amazon platform, there's like 5 Rolexes sold a month. So you need to see that people are actually interested in buying these products. So to do that, you can get a feel for the demand by looking at search volumes across multiple keywords. So if there's a niche where one keyword has good search volume, but nothing else in the niche has good search volume, so like everything's got 50 searches or 100 searches or really low numbers, then probably it's a sign that there isn't that much demand. Whereas if you're seeing 800, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, then that's something a lot more appealing. You can use Jungle Scout, and I'll do that in a sec. Or you can actually kind of manually check the BSR of some products. If you don't know what the BSR is, basically every product on Amazon has a bestseller rank. And if you look at all of these products in the niche and a lot of them have a high bestseller rank, then it's a good sign that they are selling well, especially if they're in some really big categories. I put Google Trends in here because sometimes it gives you a good idea about the kind of longevity of a niche, but I find Google Trends isn't really going to tell you whether people are buying stuff in a niche or not, so I put be wary. So if you search Google Trends, I think it might even be google.com/trends. You can put any keyword into their trends tool, and they'll show you like a chart over time of how popular this keyword has become or how popular it used to be. So it's a good way of finding out if something is increasing in popularity or if it's stable or decreasing. But again, I definitely just use it if I'm not 100% convinced. I never really use it to, it's not a deal breaker for me. And yeah, last thing is your gut feeling. Sometimes when you're doing your research, you can feel whether people are interested in this topic or whether it's really obscure and no one's interested in it. So if you're not sure, if it doesn't feel like a great niche, then find something else, because there's always something else to go for. You don't have to force yourself to go for something that doesn't feel right. Okay, product research. So this is just a final part of my theory before I actually show some proper research examples. Are there lots of products and related products on Amazon? So by this, I mean, let's say, again, we're doing straight razors. Is there just one person selling a straight razor on Amazon, or are there dozens of sellers? And are there dozens of related products like brushes, strops, straight razors, safety razors, stands, bowls? I know there are, because in case you hadn't figured it out by now, I understand this niche quite well. Are the prices good? So for me, the sweet spot is 50 to 150. That's not the only option. You can go lower, you can go higher. It's just that's my primary objective. Are sales volumes good? And the bestseller rating will give you a rough idea about that. And are people leaving decent reviews as well? So the reviews on Amazon, again, they're never really going to give you the 100% insight into how good a product is. I'm sure if a lot of you are familiar with FBA, I'm sure reviews are very important for you. But for me, it just helps craft the bigger picture. So if loads of people are buying products and they're leaving reviews and the reviews are generally positive, I feel like it's a sign that I'm not going to have much difficulty convincing people to buy these products. A lot of the time with Amazon affiliate sites, all you really need to do is send people to Amazon and then Amazon will do the work converting the sale. So you don't have to sell anything. So let's say you ranked for, again, best straight razors. All your article needs to be is, here's a list of the top 10 best razors. We like this one because of that. We don't like this. People generally are interested in that, but they don't like this. And then click here to read more reviews. And the person clicks there, they go to Amazon, and Amazon does all the work, because Amazon have invested billions of dollars in converting sales. So I'm going to let them worry about that. So for me, decent reviews is a sign that this niche has happy buyers, and it will be easy for me. Okay, and will people buy them online? So some niches like sofas, are people going to buy sofas online? Yeah, there are quite a lot of people that buy sofas online, but probably a lot of people want to go and actually test out a sofa and buy it in a store. And there are definitely some items that people will only buy online, and there are some items that people will be kind of hesitant about buying online. So that's something that you need to consider as well. Okay, digging deeper. So if you need to do more keyword research later, are there lots of other info keywords there? So as well as seeing all these money keywords, do you think that you can build a lot of info keywords there? So like, are straight razors safe? Straight razor versus safety razor. How to hone a razor. Advantages of a safety razor. How to make your own strop. If you see lots of keywords like this, again, lots of search volume, then it's another good sign, and it's something else that you can add to your website. Can you branch out later? So if your website, if you're investigating a very narrow niche, is there opportunity to go broader later? Like, can you move into parallel products and start promoting other stuff as well? And see, I told you I was going to talk about it later. Can you find a few forums or affiliate sites to reverse engineer? So one thing you can do is, if you know your niche, you can just search in Google for niche and forum. So for example, shaving forum, and then you find this forum and you can enter it into SEMrush, and you get a list of all the keywords they rank for. And you can use filters to show only the keywords they rank on page 1 for, and you've got a list of really easy keywords. Will you find resistance in a lot of keywords? So what I mean by this is, maybe you find 1 or 2 keywords in a niche that you think you could rank for. Like, they have a few affiliate sites, they have some forums, but the majority of keywords in the niche, they're e-commerce keywords, or they've got these huge tech websites ranking, or like Amazon is ranking on page 1, and you think, yeah, I could probably rank for 1 or 2 keywords, but could I rank for more than that? That's definitely something you want to consider, because you don't want to end up kind of going down a cul-de-sac in a really narrow niche. Okay, yay. So that's all the theory done. So I'm going to go over the shoulder, and I'm probably going to lose you in the process. So let me know if you just end up on a black screen.
All right, it's looking good so far.
Okay, so we're back in Google.
No, I'm still seeing your presentation.
All right, okay. All right, so I'm going to end the screen share and then.
All right. Well, I guess it takes a second with the new platform, right? But Dom, if you can still hear us while you're switching, you're getting a lot of love in the chat box. So definitely keep up the good work. I think people are finding a ton of value in this. And when we do get you back, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to give you a few rapid fire questions, because I know it's going on. We're just at about an hour here, and he's just about to get into the good stuff. We're going to watch over his shoulder, find a product, or find a good niche. What are your thoughts so far, Gen?
This is fantastic. And I think people have alluded to a really interesting business model that we're starting to see more of, which is using this affiliate model to augment FBA sales. So like Jungle Sticks, for example, we do sell bamboo marshmallow sticks, but what if we sold, I don't know, like bags, or say marshmallows, or steal marshmallow sticks, and we don't even need to sell the product per se, but we could become a site reviewing the best way to have a s'more or something along these lines. And it's bringing up a lot of great ideas that I think Dom is sharing.
I see Dom in the chat box. It looks like he lost everyone. So maybe we can write to him to try to quit. Try quitting and rejoining. Let's see here. And while he probably tries to mess with that again, let me ask you, do you know, is it legal? Is it within the terms of service to hey, Dom.
I think I am. I think there's probably just so many people on here that there was lag or something. So.
Yeah, it's probably true. Dom, I was just asking again, you might know the question. Do you know if it's within the terms of service to get an affiliate commission on your own Amazon product? So I'm selling these bamboo marshmallow sticks. Could I start a bamboo marshmallow stick affiliate site and get the commission for sending sales to it?
I'm going to double check with Amazon, but last time I checked, it was okay to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I saw someone ask if it was a good idea to do that, and I think it would be, because not only are you going to kind of double up your money, but you're also going to be driving sales to your own listings, which can then compound, and you're going to get...
Yeah, that'd be fantastic, because you're right, more sales, and you rank better, and that gets you more sales.
And you might even rank in Google, because you're going to be sending backlinks to your listing as well. So, yeah, definitely it's a good idea.
Cool. All right, do you want to try to share your screen again, and we'll watch over your shoulder, find one of these niches? Aaron just said that they have received money from their own products, so that's a good confirmation.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I guess it'd probably worth.
Oh, but someone else says it's not true. So.
We have mixed reports now. They remove commissions when they find out you're doing this. So maybe you guys can try it. You probably should check to make sure it's legal, or maybe some people stink by and others don't. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, well, I know Amazon like to change things a lot, so I know at one point it was okay, but it wouldn't surprise me if they changed their mind later. So
that's a good point.
So yeah, it's really hard to tell, and some different support agents give you different answers sometimes, which is really frustrating. But that's
classic Amazon. Exactly. That's very true.
They're so big that they don't even know what their other hands are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
But they are the biggest retailers, so it's worth working with them.
No doubt.
All right, let's cross our fingers. I'm going to turn screen share on.
All right. And I guess we all know by now he disappears for a few seconds when he turns that on. I'm going to give him a few rapid fire questions because I'm torn here because I know we still have quality content. We've already gone an hour, but I also know you guys want some of these questions answered. I'll give him a few rapid fire ones and see if we can get a few quick answers. Hey, Dom, real quick, can I ask you just 3 rapid-fire questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Are there certain products or categories that you get commissions for, or are some of them like gated?
Yeah, there are some. So as I mentioned, electronics, they cap it at 4%, and there are some that are not, they don't offer commission for, but it's like very, very few, like 99.9% they do. And I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember which ones are not allowed, but you can.
Okay.
You can
so
find
probably a Google search can figure that out. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I lied. I said 3, but now that I'm reading the questions, they all kind of had to do with that. You answered all of them. So take it away.
Okay. Can you see Google, or where are you looking?
Yeah, we can see it. Looks good.
Yeah. Okay. Now I've got to remember what I was going to do. Okay. So first of all, I just want to show people an example of an affiliate site. And as you may have guessed, I did once own a shaving site, but I sold it later on. So if you search for best straight razor, and then we go down to this one here, luxury shaves. So imagine you're a customer, so you want to know what the best straight razor is. Unfortunately, Google now shows all this stuff, but it doesn't do it on all search results. So maybe the customer comes down and they click one of these, and they think this one looks good. And so they come here and they read this article, and this here just says like, this is our top pick. And maybe they want to read more. So I've got more affiliate links here. Like these are different razors and the names of them and stuff. And then there's more the information. I mean, to be honest, the information isn't that important. It's just there because Google wants to see it to help you rank. But most people will have clicked an affiliate link by this point. So this converts really well. When I added this to the page, this site went from making like $50 to $500 just overnight. And then if they click it, where do they end up? They end up at Amazon. I'm in Canada, so I've gone to Amazon Canada, but actually normally it would go to Amazon.com. And this here is the new site owner's affiliate tag. And then what he's done actually is he's prompted me to add it to my cart. But what I normally do is I just link to the actual listing page. Like it might look like this, or it might just look like the actual page here. And then what's happened is now I have a 24-hour. Oh no, it is the normal listing page. I didn't realize Amazon Canada's changed its thing. But anyway, now I have a 24-hour cookie in my browser, and anything I buy from Amazon within this 24-hour period, whether it's this product or not, I will earn this person a commission. So Amazon are pretty good at figuring out when you're doing it for yourself. Like if you try and purchase stuff through your own link, they know, and they don't ban you, but they also don't give you the commission. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. And yeah, that's basically how it works. So let's go back to Google. So it's pretty straightforward. You want to basically be the middle person that helps the customer go to Amazon and make a buying decision. So I'm going to load up a few tools quickly. So I normally use SE Cockpit for my keyword research. But unfortunately, when I was preparing for this webinar about an hour ago, SE Cockpit was having issues with their API and they weren't able to show any search results. So that was typical. So I'm just going to use SEMrush. Yeah, I was like,
live webinar. Everything works until the live webinar is ready.
Yeah, but I'm glad I at least checked it because like it was freezing and I had to reset my laptop. So I'm really glad that I checked, and otherwise it would happen on air. So yeah, basically to speed everything up, I kind of cheated a little bit and I did some pre-research. So I'm just going to show you some ideas that I have kind of pre-prepared. So like I've cherry-picked ones. So you're probably not going to find a niche as quickly as I am, but we've only got so much time. So one good example I found was with darts. So if we do best electronic dartboard, so what I'm doing is I'm just using SEMrush like a keyword tool, and I'm searching, and it's showing me the overview for the keyword. So it's telling me this keyword only gets 90 searches. I think if I...
Hey Dom, are you doing this in another window?
Yeah. Does it not come with me when...
No, it's not.
So you guys can still just see the Google
just dashboard. Yeah, but if you go to another tab right next to the dashboard, we should be able to see it.
I am in another tab next to the dashboard.
Yeah, we can see the SEMrush dashboard. Your screen's just kind of frozen for whatever reason.
So I am in the same one. So what can you see? Just like...
the SEMrush dashboard.
All right. Well, maybe if I hit refresh, it might work. I don't know.
Looks like your whole screen's frozen. You might have to turn screen share off and then back on or something.
All right. Sorry about that. Give me a sec then.
Yeah, no worries. Not your fault. And let's see. I can try to answer a few questions while you do that, Dom. Let's see here. Carrie asked a question about like how do you review an item if you haven't seen it. like if you're creating one of these sites yourself, maybe you can do something like in an area that you already have some interest in, so you already know like what the products are. Maybe you could review them just by looking at all the pictures and YouTube video reviews or whatever else. You could try to purchase them and keep them, purchase and return them. I don't know. There's lots of ways you can gather information about a product without, I guess, having to purchase it and see it yourself. So, Don, we can see you good. You want to screen share again?
Yeah, I was just listening to your answer to that question from Kelly and Kerry. So, yeah, long story short, you can research the products without buying them. So, yeah, you can see what other people are saying. You can read the reviews of all the different that people have left. You read forums. It's actually really easy to get really good information without actually owning the products yourself. So are affiliate sites making things up about the products? Some of them probably are, but the ones that end up ranking the highest are focusing on quality answers. So hopefully that helps. Okay, let's hit this screen share button.
All right. I'm looking for one more. If there's a quick question that I'm able to answer,
Greg, maybe. Oh, well, it was similar, but I saw someone earlier was asking about actually writing the articles. If there's a good suggestion to find content writers.
Content
Fiverr,
writers are hard
perhaps.
to find. Again, you probably know better than I do. What is there a good source for content writers? Your favorite?
Yeah, Upwork. I've worked with Upwork, and as far as proving quality, it's kind of trial and error, and maybe just one trick I think I got from somebody was just ask a very simple question, like in the proposal, like what's your favorite color, and then just make sure that they answer it. Red, blue, doesn't matter, but just that they're actually reading it and following directions.
Cool. Good answer. All right, Dom, take it away. We can see your screen. I see you've typed best electric dartboard into the search there, and I see the results for it. And I see your mouse moving, so everything looks good.
Can you hear my deep breathing as well?
Yes.
So I'm going to try not to open too many tabs then. Okay, so best electronic dartboard. The volume here is 720. So what that means is, on average, that gets 720 searches a month. This is based on data that Google is giving SEMrush. So it's based on averages. It's not 100% accurate because maybe it gets 600 in January and 800 in February, and then in March it gets 500. So just treat it as a sign that it's in this case, this is a decent keyword because, as I mentioned earlier, I like to see something higher than 500. So this is a keyword that I would say, okay, best electronic dartboard. I'm going to explore this more. It's got decent search volume. Electronic dartboards, I think they're not technically classed as electronic items on Amazon, so you're going to get higher than 4% because I think they're technically classed as like games or toys. But let's assume for this experiment that we're happy with dartboards as something that we want to consider building an affiliate site around. The next thing I would do, and hopefully I don't lose you in the process, is I would come across to Google and I'll use .com. Are you still with me?
Yep, still with you. Looks good.
Good. I'm going to have to keep asking you that.
I'll stop you if we lose you.
Okay, I almost forgot the keyword there. So, best electronic dartboard. So what we can see here is actually an advert, so we're not going to look at them as competition. So what I can see down here is thoroughlyreviewed.com/sports. So what I would normally do is investigate the site itself to see if it's like an affiliate site or a huge like magazine style site, but because I don't want to open it in a new tab and lose you, I'm not going to. But I can tell from the URL that this is a big site because it covers a lot of different categories. But it's not an e-commerce site, so for me that's a decent sign. Top Rate 10 looks like another site which covers multiple categories, but I've never seen this one before, so I don't think it's a big one like Best Products or Wirecutter. And then scrolling down here, we've got electronicdartboardreviews.com. So that's actually a weak affiliate site because it's using an exact match domain. Even though it doesn't exactly match this keyword, it's obvious that they're an affiliate site targeting electronic dartboard reviews as their main keyword. And then down here, this is another kind of info site. I think this is a forum, I'm not sure. And then you've got dartboardreviews.com is another exact match domain. So what I would normally do is then I would start looking at the strength of these sites. So up here I've got the Moz toolbar. And Moz is a big SEO company that are quite good at telling you the strength of the sites on page 1. So if I turn on the toolbar, it probably won't work because nothing ever works when it's a live webinar. But basically, the Moz toolbar should show you the DA of all of these sites. And I don't know why it's not doing it for me.
The domain authority.
Yeah, so the DA is the domain authority. So I'm just going to tell you what metrics you want to look for. So basically, if the majority of sites here are like domain authority 40 or higher, then it's probably a sign that maybe they're strong sites. But if you've got a few that are domain authority 40, but a few that are like 30 or 20, then that's a good sign that you might be able to rank your site in there. So long story short, domain authority is a ranking metric which determines how strong a site is. So Google has a domain authority of 100. Amazon is probably 99 or 100. But then you get a lot of sites that are only 20, and 20 is basically, it's not a strong, they're not strong competition. So what I'm looking for is hoping that a few of these are DA. But I think basically I didn't sign into, I'm not logged into Moz, so that's why it hasn't actually showed me. But you can sign up for Moz for free. You just go to moz.com, and if you just Google Moz toolbar, you can get this Chrome extension, so you can find out the domain authority for free. And it takes a bit of manual work, but it's better than relying on a keyword difficulty score in a keyword tool. So now I'm going to, so let's assume that this keyword is good. I wish I knew whether it was good, but the DA isn't working properly. So then I would go to Amazon.com and I would start looking at electronic dartboards. So what, again, I'm looking for is like the bestseller rank. And so what we see here is this one's got 70 reviews, so it's probably selling relatively well. This one's probably not selling that well. These ones are probably selling okay. The reviews aren't that high, but I'm not really too worried about, whether there's one product that has bad reviews. So if you have Jungle Scout, what I would do now is come up here and click Jungle Scout. And for those of you who haven't seen this before, what this is a Chrome plugin or an extension, and what it does is it's manually searching this Amazon page, and it's basically telling you how many searches, how many sales per month all of these products are likely to get. And I'll let Greg bore you with the details of how it calculates it. But basically what we're seeing here is this, in my opinion, is a good product because there's lots of different products that are getting decent amount of sales. It's up to you whether you consider 500 decent, but for me, I'm not trying to sell just this one. I'm just trying to get people to buy anyone. So I'm looking at the niche overall, and I can see that people are definitely buying electronic dartboards online. If all of them were showing this, like let me jump across actually quickly and show Rolex watches. And I'm going to refresh Jungle Scout. And yeah, ignore the first result because that's not a Rolex, it's a replica Rolex. But the actual Rolexes, like less than 5 sales, 7 sales, less than 5 sales, not a Rolex. The Submariner gets 25, so that's not too bad. But then, for me, if you compare electronic dartboards and Rolexes, you can clearly see that electronic dartboards is a niche where people are buying these products on Amazon. So I would feel comfortable that with 700 monthly searches and thousands of purchases per month, I could make money promoting this product. And then the other thing, okay, did you want to say something?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was wondering if you kind of like have a rule of thumb that we could use. Like, for example, Greg likes to see 3,000 products for 3,000 units sold in the top 10, and aim for like 10% of those. Do you guys have some kind of threshold that you look for?
I mean, I would say I want to see multiple products. Like, let's say from here, this top 10 list, I would want to see 3 or 4 of them. In fact, maybe the majority of them have triple figures here. So the higher the better, obviously. But if like half of the top 10 are actually having estimated sales of like 100 or 200, then that's good for me. But again, it's kind of like using your gut feeling. Like, to me, this looks clearly like no one's buying them. Whereas the darts boards, it clearly looks like a lot of them are being sold. So yeah, as a general rule, I'd like to see that, like, let's say 50% of the top 10, so these 10 here, 50% of them are selling 100 or more. But the more the better.
Okay, thanks. And then to go back one step, what's your kind of like conversion rate? You get somebody to your site, you get them to click and buy. Like, how much are you adding a monetary value to this? Like, all right, I can see I'll get X% of these sales.
I find that's almost futile, but some of my sites convert 10%. So if I get 1,000 visitors, then 100 people buy. Some of them convert at like 30-40%. Some of them convert at 1%. But the 1% site might make more money than the 10% because of the search volume. So there are so many different metrics that I really am just doing due diligence right now rather than calculating actual figures.
Sure. Thank you.
So for people that don't have Jungle Scout, what it does is it's looking at the bestseller rank. So I'm just going to click on this one as an example. So if you click on any Amazon product, you can scroll down to, where is it? I always get lost. Okay, here. So you've got the Amazon bestsellers rank. And what you want to look at is the rank within the main category. So it might be number 1 in its subcategory, but just because it's number 1 in its subcategory, that doesn't mean it sells well, because it could be number 1 in a category of products that don't sell. So you want to look at the top number. And the metric I kind of use is pretty similar to what I've seen FBA people using. Like, I like to see that some of the, like maybe 5 or 6 of the products on page 1 are like 5,000, 10,000 or lower. So for this example, because the majority of Rolexes are higher than 10,000, it's also a good way of manually checking. But really, I just like clicking this button because I can find out the answer in 10 seconds. So for me, it's a no-brainer. But, I do like to show the manual way for people that would rather not invest. Okay, so the next thing I would do is, are there other things in the niche? So we know that electronic dartboards has decent keyword search volume. We know that page 1 in Google doesn't look impossible. We know that people are buying electronic dartboards, but do I want to build a site just around dartboards? So what I would then do is rinse and repeat. I've changed tab and I guess I lost you. So let me come back to this tab.
Oh, no, we're still here.
Yeah, we had that one with the other tab too. Whatever works.
Well, Webinar Jam just can't make it fun. So let's go back, and I know that there are other search terms for darts. So I'm just going to type in like best soft tip darts. And this one has 390 searches, so it's a bit lower, but because I've already identified electronic dartboards as my main keyword, I'm happier for my kind of secondary supplementary keywords to be lower, if that makes sense, because I know that, you know, I'm not going to build a site just around soft tip darts. So I'm looking at this more as a kind of profit maximizer. So I know, okay, I can make money from dartboards. I can also make money from soft tip darts. So then I would go into Google. I might as well just show quickly. It doesn't really matter whether you search in Google Canada, but I always search in google.com because I want to rank in google.com because there's always higher traffic for USA. Now, if you want to build a site around amazon.co.uk, for example, you can. But I'm British and I always choose to rank for American search terms because they're just bigger. So, you know, I want to get more money. So best soft tip darts. So what we see here is this is another exact match domain. In fact, I think it's the same one. So that's a good sign. In fact, it even outranks Amazon. So, and then here we've got bestcovery.com. I think that's just another kind of basic affiliate site. In fact, let me try and, now that I know that you guys are probably going to stay with me, let me check out the site. So yeah, this, I've seen so many affiliate sites, I can see straight away this is a classic affiliate site. So it's nothing special, you know, short and sweet. It's got an article and then very simple. They've got links to buy stuff on Amazon. They've got reviews to other dart, links to other dart. They've got links to other articles on their site. And then if you click on this one, so this is their review of Halex darts. So, and then it says here, check out the latest price on Amazon. So I click on it and oh, look, oh, that one's unavailable. So they should have updated it. But yeah, I now have their cookie. Their job is done. Hopefully I'm going to buy this dart or, you know, any other dart. And so there you go, very simple example. So this is the kind of site that I'm hoping to find in Google when I'm checking out these search results. And the fact that they're number one shows me that that's really a positive sign. And then I know that there's some other kind of similar sites here. 3 Darts to Play, this is another affiliate site I was checking out. So again, so now I've come to the point where I think, okay, I can probably rank for electronic dartboard, I can probably rank for best soft tip darts, and I'm starting to kind of assemble a niche, and I can then look at other keywords like best steel tip darts. I can write reviews of actual specific darts. Like if we go back to this guy again, not only has he done this kind of best darts article, but he's also reviewed individual brands. So that means he's likely to rank for, if you search for Halex darts review in Google, he's likely to rank for that too. So this is a very well done classic Amazon affiliate site. You know, it's not much to look at. You're not gonna, you know, you might show your friends this and they're not going to say, wow, that's amazing. But I can guarantee this website is making probably 4 figures a month in Amazon. So, you know, I don't worry too much about whether my sites look amazing or whether I focus more on whether they make me money. So yeah, what I would do then is just kind of rinse and repeat for other keywords. Yeah, so I think that's kind of covered most of the over-the-shoulder stuff. I could spend another 6 hours doing this, but I know we've got people all over the world who are probably quite tired. So before I continue, are there any sort of immediate questions about this?
Yeah, it's been fantastic, Dom. We really appreciate it. One question that's occurred a few times is it okay to place affiliate links on social sites like Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, etc.? specifically Amazon affiliate links?
Sorry. So good question. And it depends on the social platform. So Amazon themselves have no problem with it, which is really weird because Amazon seems to have a problem with a lot of things. But they're cool with you placing your affiliate links on Facebook, and they're cool with you placing them on YouTube. But the problem is YouTube aren't cool with you placing affiliate links like in your YouTube video description. And Pinterest, in the past, they clamped down on it, and then they kind of changed their mind, and now I'm not sure where they are. So Facebook, it's okay. So Amazon are okay with it, and various platforms are okay with it, and some platforms are not okay with it. So what I would do is, when the platforms are not okay with it, you can either risk it, and maybe the platform's going to ban you, or you can just try and link to your articles instead. So, you can just link to this particular article from social media, and it adds an extra step. So I totally see the advantage of being able to link straight to Amazon. Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. I think that was kind of the only recurring question that I was seeing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the keynote. Hopefully you guys come too. Are you here?
Yep, looks good. Oh, yeah.
All right, we're nearly done. So, okay, so what do you do when you find a niche? So let's say that darts is the niche we're going to go into. What do you do next? So I like to make a content plan. It's not as in-depth as you might think. Like, I would basically say, okay, I'm going to write an article, or I'm going to outsource an article about best electronic dartboards, or I'm going to do one about best soft tip darts, and I'll just plan out the content, and then I'll publish it immediately. Some people like to publish like 10 articles and then drip an article, 1 article a week or 2 articles a month. But I like to just get my articles published as much as possible. And you can always add more later. Because for me, I think if it's going to take me a few months for that article to reach #1 in Google, we might as well start that clock ticking as soon as possible. So there's definitely a trend within Google that the longer your article, it prefers to rank sites with more articles, and it prefers to rank sites with longer articles. So you don't need to do an essay, 4,000 words or something, but 1,000 words is definitely what you should aim for. Certainly for your kind of main keywords that you really want to rank for, like in this case, best electronic dartboard, I would probably make that 3,000 words or 2,000 words. But then my other kind of supplementary articles maybe would only be 800 words, but I would still try and get to 1,000. So main articles, 2,000 words plus, just because I don't think Google really has a rule that it wants to rank 2,000 word plus, but over the last few years, I've definitely seen a trend towards longer content. So shame, because sometimes a 1,000 word article is better than just writing 2,000 words just for the sake of it. But Google knows what it likes. So yeah, I aim to get to 30 or 40 articles as soon as possible. So if you're thinking like 1,000 words, 30 to 40 articles is quite a lot. So if you are going to write content yourself, then it's perfectly feasible to write 1 article a week or 2 articles a week. It really depends how much free time you have. But basically just try and get to 30 to 40 as soon as possible. And then at that point, you might want to take a break and focus on things like building links to your website, or promoting your stuff on social media and all of that stuff. So a lot of people swear by having a blog roll as their homepage, which is basically where your homepage is just like a list of your most recent posts, and every time you add a new post, it goes onto your homepage, like a blog roll. Some people swear by just having a page as their homepage, so they might make their main keyword. So if you wanted to rank for best electronic dartboard, they might make that 2,000 word article their homepage. And from what I've seen, it really is down to personal preference. I keep trying to really get a definitive answer, and I might find that 3 times in a row, I rank a site with a blog or a homepage better. And then the next three sites, the kind of homepage style homepage ranks better. So I just think it's down to personal preference, really. And keep on-page SEO simple. I could really do another 3 webinars about on-page SEO, but basically, this is basically like optimizing your page for those keywords. So let's say you've got a 2,000 word article, you want to rank for best electronic dartboard. My advice is to just keep it simple. So put best electronic dartboard in the title. Mention best electronic dartboard once or twice in the article, maybe in a subheading, and then put a few related keywords in there, like electronic dartboard reviews. What are some good electronic dartboards? You can say electric instead of electronic. Just put some kind of variations in there, and then that's enough for the time being. A lot of people overthink on-page SEO, and it is very important, but it's easier to rank an under-optimized page than it is an over-optimized page, because Google punishes over-optimization. So if you're putting keywords all over the place, like hashtags, thinking you're going to rank, then it's not 2006 anymore. That stuff doesn't work. Okay, don't over-optimize. I just said that, so cool. Okay, I'm just going to load all of these. Whoops, wrong way. I'm going to have to go back. All right, are we still at the example articles page?
No, now it's a black screen.
Yeah, that was my fault. I pressed escape. I guess that messed it up.
No.
So what I wanted to do was I've put links into a few example articles for people.
Hey, Greg, are you there? Or I believe it is now just me. I know Greg was having issues with his computer, but I think we have some really good questions, and I will ask Dom when he gets back. And I saw a couple questions, which I think we come from Jungle Scout, where everything is about sales estimates. So I think it is really interesting that he was able to estimate that 4 figures a month in Amazon. So we'll ask him about that. And then somebody was asking about how he values his time and the effort to put into it. So that's also really interesting. And then content writing. So 30 to 40 articles per, how long would that take? So what I was saying earlier before we got cut off was I've had really good success with Upwork, Upwork.com, where you can find freelance content writers. So I would recommend just putting out a proposal. I would recommend finding the keywords that you would have found with Dom's methods, and going through and kind of giving a few suggestions on an article or two. Maybe ask for either a spec article, or actually just buy an article and have somebody write it. You could either have people write the same article, and so you'd have a apples to apples comparison of the article, and then maybe combine it afterwards, or just have people write individual articles, and that way you expand the breadth of your content. But yeah, so what it seems like is content is huge with this, and I kind of agree with Dom that over optimizing is not ideal. That is kind of an old school thing. So like kind of the mantra of classic content marketing is write solid content that users want to read, and that really is Google's top priority. So for Google, the user experience is key. Natalie just asked, how much does a 2,000 word article cost? It's all relative, I guess. In some ways, there is a correlation between quality and price. But you probably get a really nice article for $300, I think. I think that would be a fair price on the open market by assuming a native English speaker. So yeah, Greg, can you hear me? Can can any of you guys hear me? If you can, please please drop in any other questions you have. It definitely has gone on late. This is almost an hour and 40 minutes. So to everybody who is still here, thanks so much for sticking around. All right, great. So I guess we will wrap this up. I just wanted to give Dom one more chance to share other information. So Dom is at humanproofdesigns.com. That's humanproofdesigns.com. I will drop that in the chat, and we'll make sure that we share the slides and the video recording. And unfortunately, I believe Dom is having some trouble getting back in. But because it's been so late, we will wrap this up now. So thanks so much for joining us and being here and staying to the very end. And we'll be in touch soon. All right. Bye, guys.